bear with while I try and get the phone plugged in. We'll end up with a flat battery again. Wouldn't be the first time, would it? There we go. Right. So, thought I'd jump on a quick live. You know me in live streams. Do like a live stream. Let's take up residence on the terrace. Using an Insta360 gimbal. And it's not bad, but for a technophobe like me, it's a bit of a faff. There we go. Again, my quest to try and provide live streams at different times of day, just to hit different parts of the world, different audiences. Some of my audiences have to permanently watch live streams on replay because I hit them at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I don't expect people to be up at that time. So yeah, just wanted to answer a few questions. People keep asking me. Obviously, since the new decree, everybody is going Russia mad and wanting to move to Russia. And there are now, I don't know, let's not exaggerate. I told you a million times not to exaggerate. But there are certainly dozens of videos now telling you about the law, the new decree, how it affects you, what you can do, yada, yada, yada. So, to be honest, there's not a great deal of point in me trying to pick the bones out of it, because there are people out there that know far more about it than me. So, you know, I was glad that I broke the news, and now everybody's sort of doing videos about it. That's great. They can crack on. But the question I keep getting asked a lot, and this relates to obviously this new decree, as I've said, is what does it cost to build a house or buy a house? And I have covered this off before a few times, but sort of a bit disjointed, you know. I didn't really give any costs to building our house in a video, because it was, as I pointed out in the video, pretty irrelevant. Because when we started building our house, it was 3 years ago. So costs have just dramatically increased. And I get that that's probably not a lot of use to some people that just want to know what it will cost if they come to Russia today. If they were to sell everything lock, stock and barrel, what are they going to buy? How much are they going to have to spend? And before I get to even an answer that will help, let's just understand the first thing that I bang on about all the time, and I really do think it's so important, and nobody seems to mention it, and that's climate. What climate do you want to live in? And I know a lot of you are probably bored with that. Hi. Yeah, I know a lot of you are bored with that. You know, oh my God, it must be more important things. It really isn't. It really isn't. Everything else can be changed, apart from the climate. So the region that you move to after this decree, if you decide you're going to move to Russia, getting a temporary residence permit is going to be region specific. Now, this isn't something I knew. So this was brought up by one of my subscribers who actually pointed this out to me. And this is another reason why I'm not going to give loads of advice on temporary residency. But if you get temporary residency here, so you come on your 3-month visa, whilst you're here on your 3-month visa, you apply for residency. It is region specific. So the region that you apply to be a resident in is the one that you're going to live in, and it's the one you're going to work in if you're coming here to work. It isn't transferable. There are some little quirks to it, but effectively that's the bones of it. So that's why I've said, and please watch my other video. I think it says something, I can't remember the title, but it's something like, you know, coming to Russia, ? Watch this, big exclamation mark. It really is important, and it's before you even think about selling your property wherever you live in, before you're applying for visas, before you're doing any of that, you've got to do your research on this country and look at the climate in all different times of year, because it can change massively. And I'm not talking about obviously going to a part of Siberia that's always cold, sure, but there are also parts of Siberia that are very, very warm in the summer. So it's not just about saying, well, I just want to live in snow or I just want to live in arid desert. You've got to vary it, obviously, because, you know, where are you coming from? Are you coming from a humid climate? I mean, I was speaking to somebody yesterday who's an American, and he lives in Sochi, and I went to Sochi and found it very humid. He loves it because that's the kind of climate that he's come from. So it really is specific, and it really, really is. And I don't want to be the bore that keeps going on, but I just want people to be grounded, and I don't want people to make mistakes. I want you to come to Russia and absolutely fall in love with a place like I have. I want you to come here and just go, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life, and have a happy life. But you really must spend the time researching the different regions in Russia and looking at the climate throughout the year, throughout the calendar. So important, so important. Because like I say, you can look at fancy towns, you can look at nice architecture, you can look at lakes, you can look at all of that kind of stuff, but that's not going to tell you what it's like at 8 o'clock in the evening or 10 o'clock in the evening. Is it mosquito central? Is it so humid that you can't sit outside, you've got to have the air conditioning on all the time? Is it so cold that you've got to have patio heaters and coats all the time? It really is so important, because that's what you're actually living in. Forget the dream, forget the prettiness. That's hopefully what comes, but it isn't going to be much of a dream if you can't go outside and enjoy it, or you've got to sit inside in the air conditioning, or you've got to go outside, you've got to be in a swimming pool all the time. Maybe people don't want to do that. I do, I love it, but it's not for everybody. So it's really important. So please do your research on the regions. Then do your research on the districts within the regions, because, as I keep saying, Russia is a very big place. If you're coming from the UK, a region here is the equivalent to a county in the UK, but you need a 10x it. It's on steroids when you come here. So in the UK, you can pick a county and then pick lots of different towns in that county, and you can drive around that county in a day. You ain't doing that here. It's just a vast country. So there is so much variation. There's so much variation in climate in regions. So it's really important. You've got to, you know, and I'm going to drum this into people, because I don't want people to come here and make mistakes. I do want people to come here and enjoy their life, and you know, I want people to make the right decision and really, you know, follow it through, and not just go, oh my God, I hated it. I've seen people do it. I really have. I've seen people move to America. I've seen people that have gone there to visit 2 or 3 times, and they've gone the same time every year, or the same time of the year, and then come back and gone, oh, I'm moving to America because it's wonderful. Because it has been wonderful when they moved, and then they got there and found that the winter was way too harsh for them. In the summer, they couldn't go outside because it was too hot, and they had to have the house smoke bombed to kill all the tarantulas at certain times of the year. And their wife has got a spider phobia. Didn't work out. 2 years back they came. So it does happen. People make mistakes. So to avoid that, just start with the region. Please, start with the region before anything else. I know it sounds silly, but start with that. Anyhow, that leads me on to houses and house prices. Again, region specific. You know, people are going to tell you, how much is it to build a house in Russia? How much is it to buy a house in Russia? How long's a bit of string? How many radiators do you want in your house? It's an impossible question. It really is. And people trying to sort of give you the answer to that, you can't even really give a ballpark. So I'm going to give you an answer to my house, how much it would be to buy this house now, today, in its current state. I'm going to show you around outside, maybe inside if you want to see it, if you haven't already seen it. And then I'm going to explain why, to be honest, that price is completely irrelevant. And then hopefully that'll make a bit more sense. So Let me just catch up with a couple of... how are you? I'm fabulous. Hello. You scuff. No idea what that is. Where are you from? I'm from England, from the UK. Messi or Ronaldo? I wouldn't have a clue. I don't watch hockey. Double slit experiment. Yeah, whatever. Like Don, hi Hank, Putin, Hula. Oh, I see. We've got a load of those in, have we? So let's deal with the rubbish. Anyone else want a limp? Hi Linda, nice to see you. Fine, okay, nothing else that's irritating me at the moment. So I can't be doing with people coming on talking rubbish, Putin propagandist and all that crap. Grow up, get educated. Yeah, so I'm just outside a town called Anapa. Let me spin you around. There we go. Let's get this gimbal thing sorted out and then we can go wandering, can't we? So I'm just outside a town called Anapa, seaside resort, as I said many times, on the coast of the Black Sea, just across the water. I was going to say the river, just across the water from Turkey. About 60 miles down the coast from the Kerch Bridge. Sure everybody's heard of that at the moment. And about 300 kilometres up the coast from Sochi. And we generally have blue skies, sunshine, peaches, cherries, plums, grapes, etc. growing like weeds. Swimming pool. Bloody lawnmower. That's there haunting me. It's telling me I've got to cut the grass. Because that's a regular pastime here. Let me get some shoes and we go walking. I can give you... If you're new to the channel, you can get an idea of what the cost would be for this. Ignore those uneducated people. It's yeah, absolutely. I don't even bother entering a conversation with the clowns because they're just, they're just TV sheep, aren't they? They haven't done anything other than watch the telly, believe their media. It just shows how brainless people can be. So there we go. So we've got about 800 square metres of land with our house plonked on it. The house that we built, we designed. So the developer, when you buy from a developer, as we did, you pick your plot and the developer, if I'm going to put this crudely, will give you a catalogue of houses that they will be building on this development. And as you can see, we've got yellow with grey roofs, we've got yellow with brown roofs, and I think we've got white with grey roofs as well. Different shapes, sizes. There isn't, I don't think there are two houses the same on this development. There's 39 houses currently on this development. And even the ones that look the same are different. So, for example, ours and our neighbours' houses look the same initially. In standard trim they would be the same, but theirs is mirror image of ours. So their front door is on the left of their house, ours is on the right, and that's where the similarities end. We've got a garage. I'm not sure, I think there's one other house maybe that's got a garage. It's not a big thing out here. Most people have carports. So we've got a garage and a very large garage with a sauna and a shower room being built in the back of it at the moment. And a roof terrace, which I'll show you what's left of it, which is currently being ripped up because it sprung a leak. So hopefully it gives you an idea of the size of the property, maybe. I don't know. This is our junk corner. It's always a junk corner. Doesn't change a lot. There we go. I'll take you up on the terrace and you can see the view. If there's any, as always, if there's ever anything you want to know, just ask. No such thing as a stupid question. Stairs aren't finished. There's a reason for that. That's this. Our lovely tiled terrace is gone. It's been decimated. So all of this membrane, I think, is coming off Monday. I think they're coming back Monday to carry on. This is a large roof terrace on the top of the garage. This is 12 metres by 4 metres. And in the back portion of the garage here, we've got our sauna and shower room, which is currently under construction as well. Check the videos out. So that gives you an idea of our property, I hope, and our estate, development, whatever you want to call it. And a view. Got a Baptist church there in the corner. Very nice, very lovely building. It's got a very big, large glass atrium up the front of it. Really pretty building. So there we go, that's our view, which is why we built the roof terrace. Because I think we're the only people here that have got this kind of view. So it's, yeah, really nice. We like it. May not be for everybody. But hopefully that gives you a quick overview of our property, if you haven't seen it before. And you are looking at, cost-wise, and I'll give it to you in English pounds, you can do your own conversion, about £200,000 UK. That's land, building the house, all the alterations, because you pay for every alteration that you do. So this house starts off as a 4-bedroom detached house. We've changed it into a 3-bedroom house, which I know is complete opposite of what most people do. Most people buy a 3-bedroom and turn it into a 4-bedroom, mainly for financial reasons, isn't it? Sometimes it's to help out with the family, but generally they try and turn it into a 4-bedroom, stick it back on the market a couple of years later and earn some money. We've gone the other way because it's our home. We want it to be for us to live in. So we didn't need 4 bedrooms. Oh, a little bit of wind now. So we're down to 3 bedrooms. So the entire interior of our house is completely changed. So as I said, all of those alterations, we've moved walls, we've obviously done away with a room, so all of the walls upstairs have changed. The entire top layout of the house has changed, as has the bottom layout. The top of the house now is just 2 bedrooms that are both en suite. The front bedroom, which is our daughter's bedroom, has a balcony, so she has her own Juliet balcony there and her own doors to it. And our bedroom has double doors, as you can see. Is it open? Oh, it is. Oh. Is it a pigsty? Well, yeah, it is a bit. I won't show you that. Yeah. Wife will kill me if I show you that. I didn't make the bed. So the entire top of the house, 2 bedrooms, both en suite. Downstairs, guest bedroom with bathroom, shower, bath, sink, blah, blah, blah. Toilet, obviously. I've got an entrance hallway with a large built-in wardrobe. Big kitchen. Reasonably sized lounge, custom staircase, etc, etc. You can look on my channel, check out the videos. You'll see multiple videos of the inside and outside of the house. So if you want to see in more detail what £200,000 of UK money buys you, that's an idea. Now that is total cost, that is turnkey cost. So if you were in a position to buy this house, you would be looking at around that money. Now, here's the snag. You'll never be able to buy this house for that money because it's custom made, it's made to our spec, it's on a development that it's now full. There aren't any more houses to build here. And we started building that house, obviously in 2021, when building costs were a lot different. So me saying it's a 200 grand house is probably around the market value, 20 to 25 million rubles, thereabouts. That's its market value. But I don't think you would be able to build this house in an area like this for that money. This area is rapidly changing, and in a good way. It's very much on the up and up, and prices just seem to keep rising all the time. Now, going back to why I say that trying to tell you the price of a house is pointless, is going back to being a region-specific question. Let me just answer some questions while I can see. Linda, what is the best way to contact you that is secure and reliable? What are you comfortable with to use for perhaps more detailed conversation? Okay, so if anybody wants to contact me, I have an email on the homepage. I have a Telegram group. The Telegram group is probably the easiest way. If you join the Telegram group, it's the Plastic Russian channel. If you click on that and join that, then at the top of that, if you've never used Telegram before, at the top of that page you will see discuss. One of the tabs will say discuss. If you click on that, that will take it to the live chat, where you can, instead of just only answering on a topic that I post on the chat, it's a two-way street. Everybody can post. And there's all sorts of weird and wonderfuls on there, and lots of people on there with a lot of knowledge, so you can ask all sorts of questions. Sometimes you get a daft answer because, you know, it's the internet, but more often than not there's somebody helpful on there that will give you a really, you know, sensible and helpful answer. But also you can just post on there, can we talk? And I will much prefer to voice message you, so I will voice message you on Telegram. And then obviously we can be backwards and forwards on voice message, or we can do a Telegram conversation. I am more than happy to chat with anybody. It's far easier. I am a terrible typist, absolutely awful. I hate typing, and I do everything on my phone. So sitting there with one gimped up thumb trying to type a message, and I hate text. I think it's a terrible form of communication. And so much is lost in text, so much is misunderstood, and that's how wars start. So for me, I'd much rather speak like a human being. So if anybody wants to have a chat with me, join my Telegram, say, hey, can we talk? And I'll voice message you, and then we can go backwards and forwards. Or like I say, we can have a real-time conversation. So I hope that answers the question, Linda. Let's see. See, if I read more of the chat, I wouldn't have to talk so much. Thank you, Furby. His Telegram and email is in the bio. See how easy that is? What do? Waffle on for 5 minutes. Morning? Good grief. Dingbat, I'm going with, you must be one of them upside downers. You're one of them feet hanger-oners. My Australian brethren, maybe. Or New Zealand, possibly. Don't know, what's a dingbat? Me, probably. But good morning anyway. Day. India. Wow, okay. So I gather you had the money with you from the UK and was able to start like that. How about some of us that would like to move to Russia, look for work and start fresh, very little savings? Yeah. Do you know, so many people say, how much do you want something? You've just got to. You're gonna need to have some amount of money, because you're gonna need to have time to look around. You're gonna need to come to this place, you know, Russia. By this place I mean Russia. You're gonna need to come to Russia at least once. And I don't mean for a week or two as a holiday. If you plan to move to Russia, you're going to need to come for 3 weeks as a minimum, at least once. I would recommend come for a month twice. That's just my recommendation. It's not based on anything other than you will know your own mind by then. And if you don't, if you're still not sure, stay where you are. So you're going to need some money to come and do that. Once you've done that, if you plan to come to Russia and you've got skills and you're going to be able to get into the country on a temporary residence permit, no problem, because you're the kind of desirable that Russia is looking for at the moment, you're still going to need some money. You're going to be coming in on a 3-month visitor's visa. You're going to apply for temporary residency and you're going to need somewhere to stay. So you're going to need an amount of money. How much? Blimey. $64 million question. Kind of relates to the price of a house. What region? Some regions are vastly different to others in cost. And not just in cost of house, but in cost of food and in cost of living. You want to move into Moscow, it's going to cost you a lot more than it does here. You want to go to Sochi, it's going to cost you more than it does here. But there are lots of places that are cheaper than here. That said, if you're a foreigner, if you haven't got citizenship, you're not married to a Russian, you can't buy here in this region. Well, sorry, this district of Anapa. There are 12 districts within the Krasnodarsky Krai region that as a foreigner you can't buy. So there are lots of little quirks. So you're really going to need to do a bit of homework before understanding how much you're going to need to come with. I would think that to come here a couple of times, have a look round, then come again, you know, for your 3rd time, deciding that's it, you're going to move to Russia. Have somewhere to stay, etc. I think you're going to realistically need to think around 30 to 40,000 to get you, you know, 2 separate visits a month at a time each, giving you plenty of option to look around. Then on your 3rd visit, come in renting a property, whether it's a flat or whatever, and just giving yourself a little bit of breathing space. Doesn't sound like a lot of money if you're in the UK compared to what it would cost. It's still a lot of money, I'm not suggesting it's not, but English money goes a long way out here. Not because it's English, but just because in comparison everything out here is cheaper. So I would say you're going to look at that kind of money. But bearing in mind, if you're coming for work, the chances are you'll have found work before you come here. That would be the best scenario, because they will be sorting out a visa for you. Saves you the hassle. I do have many questions to ask, but I'm apprehensive to ask. I do not want to dominate or seem to overbearing and dominate a conversation. Linda, totally understand. Not a problem. Charm Superior. Hi, sunny Yorkshire, you on holiday? What are you doing? What are you doing looking at me? Get back to enjoying your holiday. Linda, yeah, totally understand that. Completely understand that. It's very easy. All I'll say to you is I'm happy to talk to anybody, anytime, and grab it on. So don't feel that you're going to ask a silly question or you're going to take up time or whatever. If it's inconvenient for me, if I've got something on, then I'll just say to you, look, can we talk tomorrow at 10 o'clock or something? But please don't think that you're going to waste time or you've got some silly questions, because if you're genuinely looking to move to Russia, you're going to have a million questions. And I don't want anybody to think that their question is stupid, because ultimately it never is going to be. If it's something that you want to know, it's not a stupid question. So please don't think that. I'm more than happy to help anybody if I can. So like I say, feel free to contact me on Telegram. We can go from there. I don't think anyone minds, Linda. We're all curious. Yeah, absolutely. And again, the Telegram group, you know, you can ask a question in there and get an answer. But I think as Charm Superior would happily vouch for, if you've got a lot of questions, I'll just jump on a video call with you if you want, and we can run through your questions and shoot the breeze. chew the fat, whatever you want to call it. I'm more than happy to do that. More than happy to do that. From the US, actually. Dingbat. Good effort. Well done. Is Australia even real? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how those guys survive with all that blood rushing to their heads. Can you imagine the grip in their feet? They obviously walk around with no shoes as well. How can you? You know, you can't have shoes on. You couldn't possibly get your feet into, your toes in to grip anything. Hanging upside down all day. Dear, oh dear. I mean, I'll take my hat off to them. They're proper hardcore, them Aussies. I have been to Sochi many times. My mother-in-law lives there. Hi from Finland. Finland, hi. Finland in the house, guys. Yeah, sorry, Swanee. I know it sounds evasive, but the last thing I want to do is come on like so many YouTubers do, giving you a cost, telling you how much it's going to cost you to move to Russia, how much it's going to cost you to buy a house, because it's all, I'm sorry, I'm going to swear, so put your fingers in your ears, ladies. It's all bullshit. Nobody can tell you what the cost of a house is in Russia, because there are too many variables. Not only is there variations across region, but then there are variations on districts within that region. Then there are variations on towns within those districts. Then there are variations on developments. Then there are variations on, are you buying a new build? Are you buying a second-hand, you know, pre-loved house? Are you buying a plot of land and planning to build yourself? Are you buying a plot of land from a developer and asking them to build for you? How big a plot of land are you buying? Is your development going to have tarmac roads, for example? Is it going to have gravel roads? Is it going to have mains gas? There are so many variables here in Russia. And that's one of the things that I find endearing to the place, because you really can move here very, very cheaply. And, you know, look at this house. This has been on the build for quite a while now. And it's very common to see houses, you know, sort of outside and windows and a roof sit like that for years, because people that are working maybe in north, in Siberia, will want to retire to the south. So they will start building a house a year, 2 years, 5 years, 6, 10 years even, before they retire. So you'll find houses being part built a lot. So there just really is too many variables, and that's why I don't, you know, I just don't want anybody to be misled. Like I say, I'm not here for clickbait. I'm not here to get your views. I just want people to get to see my channel and what I'm showing them. I'm not here to try and make a living or generate revenue. So I don't want to bang a load of clickbait and say, yeah, this, you know, I'll give you the answers to your questions, because some of the questions are impossible to answer. How much is a house in Russia? Pick a number and you will buy a house for that price. And I literally mean that. Pick a number. You know, do you want a £10 shed, or do you want a £10 million mansion? Because everything is available in Russia. So, you know, it really is an impossible question. If you asked me how much to buy the house next door to where I am right now, if it came on the market, it would be around 11 million rubles. That's about 100 grand. That is a 2-bedroom bungalow on, I think, about 700-ish square meters of land. So that gives you an idea, about 100 grand, if it came on the market. So it really is an impossible question, and so many people are going to try and answer it for you, and ultimately all they're going to do is just generate a load of views on a video that's not going to give you anything of any use. You've got to know the region that you want to be in. And, you know, we go back to the climate. I'm not going to bang on about that again. I've done your heads in with that already. Hello from Venice, Italy. Blimey. This is a good time of day to be on. You're all over the place, you guys. Yes, I can vouch for Chris. He's a great man who has helped us massively. Awesome. Thanks, Charm Superior. Checks in the post. Costs vary between regions, plus the immigration, main portals, etc. Yeah, I mean, you know, If you come on a 1-year family visa or a private visa, just the cost of the visa alone is around £260, I think. That's, you know, that's your starting point. Live, well, I've got a pulse, so I'm checking that. But yes, I am live, right here, right now. Hello from Katie in Texas. TX. Yeah, see, I'm down with the kids. I know what all these abbreviations mean. Don't get a big head, Chris. For the purpose of the chat, I want to clarify that Chris is the only person who will give you a non-BS explanation of current events. Take your time, research, guys. Thank you. It's another bloody check in the post. Yeah, it's not the purpose, and I think that's why, you know, dare I say, I think you guys might be lucky if you come on my channel and ask questions. You're not going to get any nonsense. You're not going to get any diversions onto videos or new videos to get clickbaited, to generate clicks, to generate revenue, blah, blah, ask for donations, ask for this, ask for that. You're not going to get any of that. I'm going to try and do as many live streams as I can so that people at different times of day can ask a question. So going forward, if you think of something, if you think of a question that you don't know right now, just have it ready, because the next time I come live stream, you can ask it. If you don't want to join the Telegram group and you don't want to get too close, too personal straight away, just ask in the live stream. Hopefully I shall be doing enough of them that it gives plenty of people the opportunity to do that. That's the plan. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to give people the opportunity to ask whatever they want. Canada, blimey. No charge. I'll hold you to that. Thank you. Hello from Canada. So, yeah, there we go. Like I say, you know, cost to buy this property. If it was for sale, you were stood right there and it had a for sale sign and it was market value, it would be somewhere between 20 and 25 million rubles, which equates to around £200,000. Thereabouts. That includes swimming pool, sauna, shower rooms. We've actually got 5 showers. Well, we haven't. Well, we have. No, we have. We've got 5 showers. 3 of them are installed. 2 of them are still wrapped up. So we've got 1 in each bathroom in the house. So we've got 2 en suites and a downstairs bathroom. So there's a shower in each one of those. And then we've got 2 that are wrapped up. One of which is going here, which is going to be our outdoor shower. So I'm just reading a note from the wife. So, yeah, bless her, look. She didn't want to interrupt me. Sorry to interrupt you. I think that you need to go around the estate, first to change the view, and second to at least show the difference between the houses. I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you want to see that? Anyhow, as I was saying, shower number 4 was going there. And the 5th shower, look at him. Poor little thing's lost his voice. Again. And we think he's partial to eating praying mantis. And we think that is relating to his voice. Because he wasn't well the other day. And I found a huge, big praying mantis in a sorry state of repair, shall we say. Certainly looking like it had all the hallmarks of, yeah, those teeth. And we took him to the vets. He's had a few injections. And he was all fine. His little voice was coming back. And he was eating away. Now, he's still eating, but he's lost his voice again. Which is funny, because he can't wake me up. And what did I find? Yeah, another dishevelled praying mantis. So I do need to actually look on the internet and see if they're poisonous if you eat them. And by eating them, I don't mean me. I mean him, furry. Silly bugger. So they probably are. But he does like a land prawn or 2. Grasshopper, that is to you guys. And he's always eating them. And there's loads in this garden. And froggies. So, yeah, anyhow, I got distracted. And that's always very common. How do you bring money from a home sale in the US to Russia to buy a home there? Good question. So, if, and I do this just really because Sam has covered it better than I have and has got better knowledge of it. So Sam from Sam's Russian Adventures, if you go onto his channel and search for his video, I think it's titled Moving Money to Russia, something along those lines. I think he gives 6 or 7 different options for moving money. Again, I'm kind of a bit vague on that because we moved our money before the current situation, or right on the point of the current situation. I had all sorts of trouble with the bank, made lots of SWIFT payments initially that weren't a problem at all, and then the bank started playing silly buggers and stopping payments and pretending that they were looking after my health and well-being, and you know, they cared deeply about me being scammed, and you know, all the other rubbish, because they don't want you to take the money out of their bank, because that's how banks work. They keep your money so that they can lend it out to other people. So yeah, I went through all of that process, but there are still plenty of ways that you can move money. Some are a little more convoluted than others. Some involve crypto, for example. Some involve bank accounts in different countries. You know, maybe you've got to move money from the UK to, I don't know, maybe China, for an example, or Georgia, or Azerbaijan, something like that. All of these places offer banking services, and they can all be set up online, apparently, allegedly. That's just an idea. Is it possible to buy gold and silver from coin shops or banks in Russia? Yes, you can. There are, in Anapa, there are lots of gold and silver jewelry stores, but there are also lots of gold and silver brokers. So you can go and buy bullion, you can buy coins if you want to, you know, do that kind of thing. That's certainly something that I advise people do as well. You know, it's God's money at the end of the day. If you want to protect your money from inflation in the short term, you've got to be pretty clued up with the market. But if you're talking 5 years plus, you're always going to, historically, I say always, but historically, over the last hundreds of years that people have been using gold, historically, gold is a pretty safe hedge against inflation. So, yeah, it's not a bad thing to have your money in. Not for necessarily short term. Short term, I would recommend other things, but I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't do that. I could tell you what I would do. I'd look at some crypto. That's what I would do. But don't listen to me, I'm an idiot. I'm a Canadian married to a Russian. We live in Peru now. We are interested in the Crimea area. What are your thoughts about Crimea? What a beautiful place. All I've seen is video after video of Crimea. I've stopped watching them now because it kind of depresses me that I haven't been there yet. It's beautiful. I've spoken to a few people from Crimea. Spoke to a guy from Sevastopol. He was lovely, really lovely guy. And typical Russian. First time I met him, oh, you must come and visit. You must come to my house and stay. Never met him before. But, you know, that's Russian hospitality for you. So, yes, Linda, I think Crimea is just stunning. Absolutely beautiful. The infrastructure on Crimea is being built all the time. Literally this week, just gone, I think, they've opened 94 kilometres of motorway, all brand new. So that's something that's been happening since 2014. The infrastructure has been built because it had basically been left dormant for many years. I won't get political. You probably know what I mean, given the date. But since 2014, money has been spent on Crimea, and money is continued to be spent on Crimea because it's Russian territory. So why wouldn't they? So no, Crimea is a beautiful place. And again, without trying to sound too political and without trying to upset anybody, you know, everybody's got an opinion depending on what side of the fence you're trying to be on. And obviously there's some people that are absolutely hell-bent on saying that Crimea will never be Russian, never has been Russian, and never will continue to be Russian. And that's, I'm sorry, that's just a delusion. It's always been Russian. It's always been Russian territory. Yeah, it always will be Russian territory, I'm afraid. Russia isn't going to give Crimea away. You know, I know the British government wanted to build naval base there, so that should tell you the main reason why it was annexed in 2014 after the Maidan coup. There was a contract for, I think, 13 warships and a naval base, and that's why Russia had to annex that, because you can imagine allowing Britain to have a naval base in Russia's garden. Not going to happen. So there's a little bit of history for you. I'm sure there's a million people wanting to argue that point. Let's just go and Google it. Sorry. Russian citizens can hold gold and silver. It's God's money. Can you import gold and silver to Russia when you immigrate? So, think about how you would travel with that. I would strongly urge against trying to walk through customs with a gold bar. For a start, there is no direct flight, so I'm not suggesting you would have a problem this end at Russia, and I'm not suggesting if you're in the UK that you would have a problem at Heathrow. You would have to sign various forms, because you can walk through customs with 10 grand undeclared in cash. Anything above that has to be declared. It's not, you can't take it, you can, but you have to declare it. And I'm sure if you go to Heathrow with a gold bar and declare it, and you've got your correct paperwork for it, I'm sure they'd probably let you. And I'm sure Russia would let you in. Unfortunately, you can't fly direct to Russia. You've got to go somewhere else. And there lieth the problem. So, as the world stands at the moment, I would not recommend physically walking through with gold or silver. I would recommend, if you're going to do something like that, to look at crypto. Because if, and here's just one idea, if you wanted to, say, take £100,000 through customs, you could do that with crypto and a cold storage wallet. So you'd literally walk through customs with a USB stick. So, yeah, and lots of people do that. They use Bitcoin for that. There are people that, you know, walk through customs with millions and millions of pounds every day using cryptocurrency. So that's another option. I wouldn't recommend, like I say, physical gold or silver. That's, yeah, it's a little bit sketchy. Any good translatable websites where one can look at the Russian job market? Right, again, that's a question for Sam, because he has covered that again. I don't understand anything to do with jobs or taxes, because I have very little to do with either, thankfully. I'm old and I'm retired. So, yeah, I don't work. And I'm not, you know, paying tax because I haven't got an income. So, yeah, I'm not the person to talk to about job sites, but Sam definitely is, without a doubt. He's very knowledgeable on that subject. So, Sam's Russian Adventures, he's got a Telegram channel. Ask that question on there. He is on my channel as well. So, if you put @Sam or @Sam's Russian Adventures on my channel, hopefully he'll reply. If you don't, I'll ring him up and say, oi, can you reply? I recommend using the Yandex browser when looking for information about jobs departments. There you go. Perfect. See what I mean? I should read the chat. Linda, you're welcome. Absolutely, not a problem at all. Just, you know, don't hesitate. There's no point in thinking day after day you've got a question and you don't know the answer to. Just ask. You know, fire it over to me. Like I say, we can do voicemail backwards and forwards. We can do a phone call. We can do a video call. It's all free on Telegram. Doesn't cost anything. Even if you just want to send me texts, if you don't want to do that, I will reply with a voicemail, so I can give you a much more detailed reply to your question rather than two lines of text that will probably be wrong or communicated badly. That'll be my end, not yours. So yeah, please don't think that there's a stupid question. Just ask whatever you want, and I'll come back to you with a voicemail. Any good websites with job offers? Oh, I guess you're asking MMTS. Here in Russia we have Headhunters and Superjob. Right, I've heard of Headhunters. Thank you. That is Eleanor? I'm going with Eleanor. I'm trying to read Russian as much as I can. I'm not even going to butcher your second name. Zaitseva? Zaitseva? Eleanor Zaitseva? I've had a go. I've tried. I'm showing willing. hh.ru, yeah, headhunters.ru. There you go. Somebody's always got the information, which is fabulous. So yeah, the wife did suggest I go wandering around the estate. I don't know if you guys want to see that. Been on for an hour already. Rabbiting away. She's messed up my list as well. I try and write lists sometimes of things that I'm going to say. So coming up in the channel, I'm possibly going to be doing a live stream soon with a couple of big YouTubers. So it'll be don't get rude, it's going to be a freeway. Don't do it. And we're going to be diving into more depth about coming to Russia. There are going to be bits that I'll be able to fill in based on the region that I live in, because there aren't many Brits in this region, and there are not many YouTubers in this region. Not British YouTubers anyway. So I can probably give an insight into, you know, wine region, beach holidays, yada yada, that others can't. But the two guys that I will probably be going on with, if we can sort of get our timings right, they have got a lot of experience. Both have been in the country for a long time, and they've got a lot of experience in all different fields. So if that happens, that will be a good stream. But you know, all of these things have got to pan out, but we're working on that at the moment. Yeah, sure, Swami, no problem. The other thing I'm working on at the moment is bringing you something from an expat American. That's all I'm going to say. Make from that what you will. So I'm working on that at the moment. I say working on that. I am, my end. Haven't done anything his head, because not really sure about what's happening. So anyhow, that may come as a surprise. But I'm working on that. Port Kavkaz. So some people have asked about the port. I'm sure it's been in the Western news. Ukrainian strike on Port Kavkaz. Don't know if you've seen it. Seen titles, headlines about it. You know, I haven't bothered, because I'm so used to the Western media spinning, you know, a firework going off and it's basically Moscow's been wiped out. I'm so used to that kind of spin that I just don't really take a lot of notice anymore. But I'm sure you have, because I've had a lot of people contact me about Port Kavkaz. Somebody very kindly asked if I was all right very quickly after the event. You know, are we all right? Because Port Kavkaz is quite close to us. In fact, just down the road from me is a sign that says 78 kilometres. If you go to my Sea of Azov video, where we went to the beach, you can see Port Kavkaz in the background. So, what happened? As I understand from the locals, which, to be honest, is more reliable than anything else, there was a strike on a ferry. It's not really a ferry in the traditional sense. It's a boat that's used for loading and unloading oil, petroleum, etc., etc., which was tied at dock, probably full, half full, I'm not sure, and it got struck. Now, I don't know whether it got struck by a sea drone or a missile or Ronald McDonald flying on a broomstick. I don't really think it matters because fire is fire. From what I've heard locally, there were 17 people rescued and 2 casualties is what I'd heard so far. I haven't looked any more at it. But yeah, you know, it's a boat on fire in a port. I'm sure the West has made out that it is game changer number 237.6. But in the grand scheme of things, it's just a prick in a bear. And that is what most of the stuff is. It's not going to change the inevitability of what's going on. So, you know, it's just another prick in the bear to irritate the bear on the run up to a November election for a certain country. That's all it's about. People are dying, all because of that. Anyhow, here's me getting political again. I don't like doing that. My face. Do you know what? I sometimes wonder if they've actually got Ronald McDonald and they've just taken his makeup off. Kind of walks the same. And without being rude to Ronald McDonald, he'd probably do a better job, wouldn't he? I know he's strictly hamburgers, but the other idiot's ice cream. So I don't know. Sorry if you're a Biden supporter. And by sorry, I mean I feel sorry for you, not I'm sorry. There we go. God, very political today. I've got a sharp tongue today, I have. I don't know why. I'm going to look at my peaches. That always mellows me. I can come and look at my peaches. I'll get about 3 today. I daren't eat another one, had I? Should I? Maybe. Oh, that one does feel nice. Oh. I like to look around and just sort of go, oh, I think I'll eat that one. What's that one? Oh, it's quite firm on the branch, so I'm going to leave him to get fatter. It's like a Christmas turkey. You've got to fatten them up a bit sometimes. And sometimes you just got to go and pull the head off. Ooh. Ooh. What's going on here? I'm sorry, this isn't much of a live stream, is it, me? Oh, look. I can't believe it. That one just fell off. It's lucky I was here to catch it. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Don't snitch. Look at that. So this is what I like being able to do. Yeah. Not bad. Not bad at all. Ice cream machine is always broken. That's the true walk on. Yeah. That's a scam through Monopoly. We have peaches and nectarines here in the Okanagan Valley in British Columbia, Canada. Yours are beautiful too. My peaches are always beautiful. No, don't do it. I didn't. It's your dirty mind. My God, these are something else. So we've got Rios on the left, the black one. He's a Bombay. We've got Ripple on the right. She is an Egyptian Mao. We keep going to the local market and there's a kitten there. And the wife keeps taking pictures going, oh, look, it's so cute. We've got 3 cats already. I can see it being 4 soon. Look at this thing. there's the other one. That's Rosie the Bengal. So we've got Ripple, Rosie, Rios. If you know crypto, you know what that's all about. Is Sochi considered a port of entry? Yes, it is, Linda. So you can fly in and out of Sochi. That's our preferred method of travel because it's just down the coast from us. Just down the coast from us, being 5 hours on a train, or 6 hours in a car, or probably an hour and a half on a motorbike because the road's epic. It's such a good road down to Sochi. It's all twists and turns. It's biker paradise, to be honest. But no, I'm joking. It's not an hour and a half on a bike. Not unless you're a TT racer. Davey Todd, if you're watching. Yeah, so it is a port of entry. It's quite a nice, small little airport. No fuss. As long as you've got your bits and pieces with you, no problem. I found Moscow more challenging, to be honest. A lot more challenging. I found Sochi much easier. Right, water system. Somebody's asked me about. So, some of you may know we have water from, in the west we call it a well. Here, I don't know, borehole, but effectively, a big machine comes along and drills down into the spring water table. Is it called a spring water table? It's a water table and it's spring water. So I'm putting the two together. So that is in the corner of our property here. So underneath this is our well and our pump. So you've got a sleeved tube that goes down into the water table, and then there's a lift pump, a tubular lift pump that goes straight away down. That's 15 metres down. And I think that's a German lift pump actually, Koa. Oh, let me try and put this on without trapping my fingers and without breaking another toe. Dealing with a broken... I'm walking around for you guys with a broken toe. Hope it's appreciated. Yeah, so we get a lift pump there, brings the water up. You can adjust the pressure of the pump depending on what pump you've got. Ours, I think, can run at about 8 bar if we want it to, which is, if you've no idea, household pressure in the UK, I don't know, I'm going to say somewhere around 2-3 bar is normal. We're running our house at 3 bar off of that pump, and it gives us plenty of water out of any outlet. But that's obviously straight out the ground. So the first thing you do after you've had that borehole, bearing in mind once you have done that borehole, your water's free for life because you're only paying for the borehole. There's no monthly charges from anybody because it's on your territory, so you own it. Good thing about Russia, none of this UK nonsense where if the raindrop falls on the ground it's owned by the local council stroke government. What a load of crap. No, here if you buy land it's yours, all of it. Up, down, left, right, it's all yours, whatever's on it. Not sure if that would apply if you find gold on there, but certainly it does for water. Anyhow, I digress. You dig a hole, you get a company in, charge you about the equivalent of £400. So that'll be to bore the hole, put a sleeve in, put a pump in, plumb it all into your house. About 400 quid. And then from then on, yeah, it's free. So case in point, that swimming pool is filled with spring water. 2 days it took. Burnt the pump out. But we had a very small pump in, so we've got a better one this time. So yeah, you get that, it comes into your house. Then you send a sample of your water to a laboratory. We've got one in Napa, and they test the water. Ours came back with being very good in every aspect. You can drink it straight out of the ground, which is in fact straight out of this tap. So just to prove it, because a lot of people think, can you drink the water? It's very warm. Yeah, it's lovely. Absolutely cool. It is nice. Yes, very nice. So you can drink it straight out of the ground, but it's just high in calcium. So it's got a higher than normal calcium content. So from then, once you've established the quality of your water, ours is calcium, you then go to a water filtration specialist. There are a few around, and you give them your lab results, and they build you what looks like a giant gas cylinder. If you've ever done any welding, it looks like an argon cylinder, which is this blue thing here. And inside that is all sorts of media based on the lab report. So each cylinder is built specifically to deal with your water. So ours is mainly set up for calcium, and that's what you get. So you get that full up with all different levels of media, and the water comes in. So the water comes in here, up through pressure gauge, and which is obviously a regulator as well, and then it all goes around this pipework, goes through the pre-filter, which is here. That takes out large particle stuff. You can see that's full of water coming straight out of the ground. Don't look too bad, does it? So that goes into that bottle, and then out of the other side of that bottle, it goes through an active carbon, charcoal kind of affair, and then it goes into the house. So you're taking spring water, you're cleaning it, you're removing any particles that might be in it, and then you're putting it into your house. And then from there, we filter it again. Why? Why not? Cost of the filtration out here, it's cheap. So why not? And because I've got a nice fridge, and I like nice cold water. So under the sink, a lot of you guys around the world will be very used to this kind of reverse osmosis setup. Wise Water. So this is an American system. So some of you guys may have seen this. In the UK, we use reverse osmosis, or as we shorten it in the UK, because we shorten every damn thing, to RO. We use RO water system for two things. One, for keeping marine fish, because they like their water very nice. And two, for window cleaners, because it stops the windows staining. So we don't really filter our water in the UK, because we believe that whatever comes through our ancient Victorian plumbing system from the reservoir that the fish swim in is absolutely beautifully clean by the time it's gone through our lovely water chemical treatment plant. So by the time it hits our house, it's absolutely like angels singing. So that's why we don't filter our water in the UK. It's also why I used to buy bottled water, because the tap water has got all sorts of stuff in it. So that's our water system. Cost of that, you're looking at about, English money, about £600 for the main system. So the large blue media bottle, the two big filters, the computer on top of the media bottle, which monitors the condition of the media inside and flushes the media at a predetermined rate, so it will do like a backwash sort of thing that you'd have on your sand pool filter. It'll backwash the media so it doesn't get clogged, and it'll dump it out to drain. And all of the plumbing and installation. So £600 for all the equipment and installation. And then the reverse osmosis system under the sink, which we've got a 5 version. I think you can get 3, 4 and 5. We've got 5, and then we've got an additional filter on that. We've got a odour filter on top of that as well. So we've actually got 6 filters under the sink. That is about 12,000 rubles, so about £100, just over. And changing the filters on the whole lot, probably looking at 40 quid to change all of the filters, including the main active charcoal one, and the main debris filter, and all the filters under the sink, about 40 quid. So that's the water system. Like I say, do we need to do it? No, we could buy bottled water. There are bottled water stations in Russia everywhere. Everywhere you go, there is a machine, and people are always pulling up to the machine, and you can buy about 25 litres of pure water for around 20 rubles, which, if you think 1 ruble is a penny, so 100 rubles is a pound, so 20 rubles, 20 pence, will get you about 25 litres of water. And most people do that, you know, they don't see the point of spending £600 on a filter system. But, you know, we've done it because now every single drop of water that goes into the house runs through filtration. So our shower is amazing. It's like, well, it's just, the water is so nice. It's I can't really describe it other than it's just lovely. It's nice to have a shower in pure water. So that's why we've done it. It's one of the reasons. And then the drinking water, yeah, sure, we could buy drinking water, but you know, we've got a drinking water dispenser tap on the sink, and we've got one in the fridge that's chilled. So we've got super pure water that makes ice, and water that we can drink out the fridge. So that's the reason for doing it. So that's hopefully answered that question. And if the person who's asked that isn't watching, which I don't think they are, they can probably watch this on the rerun. Right, any other questions? I am wagering the Germans are going to become a good bit friendlier all of a sudden. You think? Listen, I think it's fair to say the West, I'm going to nick somebody's saying, has doubled down and tripled down now on stupid. They've just made massive errors based on what they knew about Russia, which is the sum total of nothing. And that's the biggest problem. All of the experts on Russia are no longer in the administrations. So they've got an idea of Russia based on 30 years ago. That isn't Russia. And they have no idea of Russians at all. They do not understand Russians, because there isn't anybody that's an expert on Russia in any of the administrations anymore. So what they do is they go based on their talking heads who think they know it all. Oh, we're the United States, we're Great Britain, we're France, we're this, we're that. Yeah, great. Russia don't play that game. So unfortunately, they're in a position of massive miscalculation. Massive. Huge. Enormous. And rather than select reverse, hold their hands up and go, yeah, kind of got this wrong. We're kind of sorry. Can we have a chat? Oh no, we'll continue down the path of stupid. So that's what they did. And continue to do to this day. Getting more and more deeper into chaos and deindustrialisation and debt. Now, how is that going to change? Realistically, whatever country you're looking in, do you see your current government administration having a brain cell? You know, have they got one brain cell holding their ears apart? Is it possible? Do you think these people are capable of critical thought? Are they capable of just thinking, do you know what? We've got this wrong, and for the sake of our citizens, we need to do X. We need to sit down and start talking. No. And why is that? Well, it's the current crop of politicians in administrations. What politician do you see that loves his country and cares about his country or her country? Let's not be sexist. Tell me. Yeah. Some of you may say Trump. There's pros and cons to that answer. Does Trump care about America? I mean, he certainly says he does. If he can walk the walk, I mean, he definitely talks the talk. So let's see if he walks the walk. Does he care about America? That's, I think, yet to be proven. I think he's shown signs of it. I think there's certainly more a case for that than the current administration. And then aside from that, who else? Because I'm not seeing anybody. I'm just seeing a bunch of money-grabbing, future-looking scum that are probably looking at the position as a way of generating as much money as possible in the shortest period of time, knowing full well that they've got 3, 4, 6 years, depending on which country. And they're going to earn as much money as they can in that time and then scuttle off into the sunset and buy their Miami beachfront property, Rishi Sunak. So, yeah, is Germany going to change? I mean, Germany may get to a point where it has to, but Germany, believe it or not, isn't in as bad a position as the US and the UK. You know, when you look at your GDP figures, Germany's actually in a better position, although being massively deindustrialised. Last I heard, Porsche was moving to the US. Porsche moving to the US. What kind of insanity is that? So, you know, whether that's actually true, whether it actually happens, I don't know. Just the last thing I heard a month or two ago. But it just gives you an idea of the insanity that's floating around in the West. So, will Germany come to their senses? I don't think so. With the current administration, I don't think so. That sounded like thunder. That won't be pleasant. The sky looks black as well. Look at that. Certainly won't be pleasant with our roof, our terrace ripped up. That might get interesting. Yeah, so current crop in the West, going to fix the country? No, I think you're going to need changes of government. And whether that's by, you know, the latest coup d'etat, a la the US. Let's face it, you've just had a coup in the US. Biden has been forcibly ousted. He didn't want to step down. He was pushed. He didn't jump. So that's, you know, by definition, that is a coup. And he has been replaced with... Well, anyhow, moving on. So unless that kind of thing happens, or it comes to end of term in whatever country you're in, and you get some new administration, I don't think much is going to change. I think Britain probably gets worse before it gets better. Starmer, before he got into power, I said he was Rishi Sunak 2.0, but meaner. Let's be honest. Sunak and Starmer have exactly the same policies, worded slightly differently, but the policies are the same, and they're following the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and their ideas and ideologies. So it's the same bunch of policies, with different wording, sentences rearranged. The only difference is where Sunak didn't have any guts to follow anything through, Starmer, it's not about guts, he will just force whatever he needs to force through and move on to the next one. So, well, you're better off with Sunak? Yeah, that's how bad it is. You were actually better off with Sunak. That's how bad it is. But there we go, that's just my view. And I'm just an idiot. Linda, again, you're welcome. And that is definitely thunder. Now, over here we get epic thunderstorms. And I am sitting outside holding what is effectively a lightning conductor. So this could get interesting. Mind you, the phone needs a charge. But yeah, if we do start getting some thunder, well, getting a thunder, if we do start getting some lightning, you might be in for a good show. Because I've never seen lightning like out here. You know, in the UK you get sort of a bolt of lightning and you wait around and then you get another one. And you wait around, you get another one. Well, sometimes it's just almost constant, just firing across the sky and down to the ground, and yeah, it's really quite dramatic. So we'll see what we're going to get. They're approaching hyperinflation, yeah, absolutely. Why Camel Lala talks about price gouging. That's what the US is doing to Germany over gas and power. Yeah, I mean, you know, Christ, it starts with Nord Stream, doesn't it? I mean, The US was never happy about Nord Stream. It always wanted it ended. Why? What right has the US got to dictate to Germany where it gets its fuel from? Well, because for US benefits. No, not for Germans' benefit. For US benefit. Well, we can sell you LPG. So they never wanted Nord Stream. They were always unhappy about that. And obviously, it ain't there anymore. It's funny how Kamala Harris is currently going around saying what mistakes have been made, and the current administration has made lots of mistakes, and all the prices have gone up, and this is bad and that's bad, and how she's going to change it. When it was her and her administration, or the administration she's part of, that's caused it, that's created it, that's done it. I mean, it just beggars belief. And I really struggle with the Americans that actually vote for this time and time and time again. That vote for, that vote for Biden and his policies and his administration, and then move on to Kamala and carry on. It's like, can you not see? This woman is standing in front of you saying that, all of the previous policies of this current administration have been basically shit and they've been terrible and they've wrecked the country. But she was that. That was her. It just beggars belief. It beggars belief. But anyhow, I'm very political today. I don't know how that's happened. Remember, Germany was destroyed 2 times, and after the wall came down, it was only 10 years, and they were back to the top of Europe. Yeah. This is the thing. I believe, and this is just my view, but I believe every country should be a sovereign country. The EU is the worst thing that ever happened to Europe, in my view. Not the best. I think it's the worst. I understand the principle, but the principle was never going to work. And the reason it's never going to work is because there's too many races, creeds, colours and religions. And what is good enough for the goose in one country ain't good enough for the gander in another. So it's never going to mix. You try and push water and oil together, it is never going to come out level. So, yeah, it was never going to work. And it just needs these countries in Europe to wake up. It needs the people of the countries to wake up. It needs to have serious political change where administrations get in that put their people first. Because the minute they put their people first, all of this warmongering, all of these military bases around the world, all of this dictating to everybody will stop. Because the minute you put your own people first, that's where your focus has got to be. Not in a different country. So, yeah, that's what I think about that. Just need to break free. It's nice thunder, isn't it? Proper job. My neighbour has decided to go out into his banya. Have a look at that. You can see the chimney just there. He's got a log burner in his banya, or his sauna, as we call it. It's not a sauna, before anybody tells me a banya is not a sauna and a sauna is not a banya. Yeah, to an Englishman it is. It's a place that gets hot. So he's got a lovely log cabin with a nice roof on it. Let me just do a bit of spying. Oh, I shouldn't say that. Somebody might be listening and get the wrong idea. But there we go. Yeah, he's got a lovely building at the end of his garden. And yeah, so he's just fired up his log burner. It smells wonderful. I don't know what it's burning, but it smells lovely. My favourite weather is thunderstorms. Yeah, I don't really have a favourite weather, to be honest. But I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's nice. I think it depends where you live. It's nice on a hot day, and today's a hot day. Sovereignty is the key word, Chris. Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I really do. I believe that, if every country put the importance of its own borders and its own citizens first, even with immigration, that's the buzzword at the moment. Illegal immigration. Oh, you're a racist if you're against it, and you're a leftist lunatic, flag-waving, ear-pierced, nose-pierced, eyes-pierced, gender-disfiguring loony if you're for it. Simple answer is, Illegal immigration is always a problem because the clue's in the title. It's illegal. And what is wrong with having a sovereign country and having strict border policies like Russia has? I mean, Russia has just relaxed their border policy with regards to the language. And a lot of countries are going, oh, see, Russia, you know, and I think a lot of Russians are upset and thinking this is going to lead to mass immigration. No, it ain't. Because there's still a border policy. It isn't, you know, I don't know what to do here. There is a border policy in place. And that is why Russia isn't full of illegal immigration. And why it's not full of undesirables. There are some, of course. Am I suggesting Russia is crime-free? No, nor's any country. But there is a border policy, and you have to follow it. Whereas a lot of the countries in the West, that seems to have gone out the window, which is why you have an illegal immigration problem. So, if these countries actually put a border policy in place that was stringent and robust, and was adhered to, and there wasn't any Mr. Smith in 1764 won a Court of Appeal case, blah, blah, blah. As long as there isn't any of that nonsense, I think every country would be in a much better position. Because all of this free travel, which is the EU, this is their idea. Oh, open borders, just wander about as you please. Is all well and good, but you find that the people migrate to the best country. Or what they perceive to be the best country. And then you have a lot of people going to what they perceive is the best country, being a massive drain on resources on the best country. And gradually it collapses. It's not overnight. You know, a few thousand people every month doesn't collapse a nation overnight. It takes years. But once the rot's in, the only way is to cut it out. And that's serious, and that's a big, big undertaking. And I don't think anybody's got the appetite for it in the UK. I think possibly in the US you might be all right. If Trump goes in, you might have somebody with an appetite for it. But he's always going to face... He's just one man, and let's face it, one man doesn't run the US. The military-industrial complex runs the US. And the bankers. So, yeah, is it ever fixable? I don't know. Should never have got to that point in the first place. Sovereign country, border controls, wouldn't have any of the problems that we've got today. Well, there we go. I can't fix the world. And now it's raining. It's raining. Oh dear. I might go swimming. Wouldn't be able to get wetter. Actually, one of the lines of Nord Stream 1 is serviceable. Yes, it is. The Russians have offered to transport gas to Germany. Yep. I do think that Germany in a few years may actually have to open the valves again. I agree, Linda. I absolutely agree. I think if they don't, the reason that Germany became a massive industrial power isn't just the fact that the Germans are very resourceful and clever. It's because they had cheap energy, cheap Russian energy, which enables you, when you have industry to the scale that Germany has, to operate and be competitive. And everybody moans about China, but look what China has done in the last 10 years. I'm driving a Chinese car, and if you'd said to me 10 years ago I'd be driving a Chinese car, given the industry that I come from, I would have laughed at you. Literally laughed at you. So, everything is possible, everything changes. It's just... I just don't see anybody in these administrations that look like they've got two brain cells to rub together. You know, the level of absolute Neolithic stupidity is really beyond my comprehension at times. But it is what it is. We've just got to see how it goes. We've got to see how it goes for the world, but in the meantime, I'm thinking about me, myself and I, my family. And, yeah, my family's future. Both here and in the UK. because I have family in the UK as well. So, yeah, that's why I'm in Russia. And I was just about to go and walk around the estate. Oh well. Linda, this is the low-key offer Putin is making them now. Yeah. I mean, as I've said before, love Putin or hate him, regardless of what camp you're in. I've personally never met him, so I don't hate anybody if I haven't met them. I don't love anybody if I haven't met them. I certainly don't judge anybody if I haven't met them. It's definitely raining. Yeah, that's right, honey. Too late. Yeah. Might have to get the lawnmower. Right, I am going to get the lawnmower because that'll definitely die. So I'm going to put you guys on the table just for a minute and you can laugh and watch me get wet. Ah, dear, dear, dear. Yes, I'm half naked. I'm always half naked. It's 32 degrees here. What do you expect? Yuck. That kind of soggy, that is. Now that's not going to be good for our roof terrace. Certainly not good for the wife's phone that she left out. I wonder if I should tell her. There we go. Rain, we do get it. The garden needed it, to be honest. Good for the grass. That. It's a rare sight actually in the summer. Heavy rain. Wonder how quickly that's going to leak. Oh well, it was their choice. I'm talking about the developer when they decided to rip the terrace up. I did point out to them that it wasn't waterproof. Oh well. Can you see how much water's coming through yet? Well, nothing yet. It's early days. Not yet. Oh well, give it time. I'm sure it will. The eternal pessimist. Let's pull that out of there. The gimbal's going mad. I've heard the thunder. There's the makings of a rainbow just starting sort of here. But I haven't seen any lightning. He says, as he lights up like a Christmas tree. There we go. It's kind of how it goes with a thunderstorm here. It does that for a few minutes and then stops. And then sometimes it has another bite, there's another go. And sometimes that's it. You don't really get light rain here. You know, like in the UK, you get that really, really fine rain that everybody says, oh, it makes you wet. Yeah, it's called water, but you know what I mean, that really fine, misty rain. You don't get that here, not in this particular area. It just seems to be big hoofing great drops for a thunderstorm, and that's it really. Anyhow, what's that? Florida is like that, is it? Yeah, but it's humid in Florida, isn't it? So I've been told. I've never been, so I don't know. I was very political today. I didn't want to be. Anyhow, I told you about the Port of Cavcass. Told you what was happening there. I had a discussion about house prices, and really it's an impossible question. Please don't listen to anybody that's claiming to be able to tell you how much it's going to cost you to buy a house or build a house in Russia, because it's an impossible question. It really is. It's an impossible question, really, in most countries, but Russia's different. There is so much more variety and variation to the standard question, you know, because there are a lot more options. Most countries, you either buy a new build or you buy a pre-owned from the second-hand market, pre-loved, as we like to say, and that's really kind of tends to be it. But in Russia, there is so much more when it comes to options on choice, on style of house, on where to build, on how much land, there's so many variables. So it really is, you know, it's an impossible question, and you know, I'm not trying to put anybody down. This isn't directed at any particular YouTuber or YouTubers. This is just purely public service announcement, PSA, just so that people don't get the wrong idea and, you know, uproot their lives thinking one thing and then having a bit of a shock. You've got to go through a process, and that process starts at the first step. You know, if you start to jump forward 10 steps, you're going to get caught. You're going to struggle. So please start with region first. That's your first port of call, region, because that, as I said at the beginning of this live stream, relates to your temporary residency permit. So that is your first thing. Nothing else. Get that first. Get the region. Research the regions. Find the regions that you like the look of. Then narrow it down from there. Then narrow it down to districts. And then narrow it down to towns. And then once you've done that, then you can start looking at whether you're buying a second-hand house, whether you're buying a new build, whether you're buying land and you're going to put a shack on it and build something in your own leisure, whether you're going to go with a developer. You've got all of the options from there. And then each one of those splits down into subdivisions as well. So, but you've got to start from the first port of call, which is the region. So I hope that's been useful for some people. I have advised by the developer on how long it will take to repair the deck and have it sealed properly. Yeah, no. Yeah. So Russia doesn't really work like that. Well, again, I'm talking about my experience in my region. So in my experience in my region, Russia doesn't work like that. Perhaps in the UK, you know, they'll come round and they'll say, well, it's a 3-week job. We're going to start it on the 17th of March and it will be finished by. Yeah, it don't work like that here. Because nobody really operates. They certainly don't operate to a time. I mean, good luck with that. You know, you just take your watch off. Forget that. It's a pointless thing to have here, really. Nobody operates to a time. I think it's more of a target than an actual... I don't think it's based in any kind of reality, given a time. Mostly a day is reasonably accurate, mostly, but not always. So you have to have a different mindset if you're coming from, you know, certainly if you're coming from the UK, where, you know, you'll book somebody weeks in advance and they'll turn up at X, they'll turn up at 9 o'clock and they'll be there till 5 o'clock, and yeah, it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. You know, the guys that were pulling all the tiles up the other day were here at 9 o'clock at night. So, you know, and then they left for 2.5 hours in the middle of the day because it was 34 degrees. Sun was directly overhead, and yeah, no respite from it. So yeah, they don't work like that, so we don't really know how long it's going to take. We have changed the tiles. They are. It's an exclusive. We will not be having the same tiles, so we will not be having these things. Not going to tell you what we are having. You'll have to wait and see. Watch out for the next video. Yeah, I think because we've, you know, this is now the second time that the terrace is being pulled up. I just think we don't want a reminder of it anymore, so we're having to change the tile. Altai is idyllic, yes. Yeah, again. Yeah, the Altai region is, yeah, the mountains and lakes are, I mean, it really has blown my mind, some of the landscape that's here in Russia. It really has. Warmer climate, yeah. I personally think Crimea is a really, really good shout, Linda. It's not humid. It's, you know, it's hot, but it's coastal, so you've got a lovely breeze. You know, it's very similar to where we are. Well, it's 60 miles away from us, so it's very, very similar to where we are. And I can vouch for that. You know, the sea temperature is lovely in the middle of summer. You know, it's like going into a hot bath. You know, 31 degrees, 32 degrees sea temperature. We've got dolphins in the Black Sea, as some of you may know. Crystal clear water. There are times, obviously, when it's algae. You get that in, you know, in hot climate. You're going to get algae in the sea, but it's, you know, it's seasonal. It's for a period of time, and it tends to be right on the shoreline. You just, you know, you walk through it, 5 meters of it, and you're out the other side. A lot of people will actually bathe in it because of the medicinal purposes, apparently. But yeah, I personally think Crimea is a really good shout. It's beautiful landscape, very, very pretty, and yeah, it's definitely going to be an awful lot of money put into Crimea. Well, there's money being flooded into Crimea now, and there will continue to be. So if you accept snow, you get better value, though. Yeah, that's a good saying. And you're right. I mean, a lot of Russians will actually go and work in what they call work in the north. So the less, I don't want to say less popular, because it really depends on your mindset, but I don't fancy minus 40, minus 50, and, you know, the sun never coming up or the sun never going down, or no. But a lot of Russians will do that. They work in the north because there are a lot of advantages. For a start, the pay is extremely good. You know, you're talking way, way, way above average. So you can earn a lot of money if you go and work in the north. And that's why a lot of Russians do it. They work in the north and then they'll retire to the south. Also, there are perks for working in the north. There are perks for the pension. And some companies will actually buy a retirement home for you in the south. If you work in the north, for certain companies, maybe Gazprom, I'm not sure if it is Gazprom, but certainly certain companies, and they will purchase land and or property in the south for your retirement. So yeah, I'm just reading Linda's comment there. My wife is actually from Novosibirsk. Okay, right. I think this pertains to a earlier text that you sent to me, Linda, where your husband sometimes comes on. It's just really confusing when I see Linda Ortiz all the time. So, yeah. Good afternoon, sir. We're hoping to find 1 hectare and build a wood frame home. We rescue dogs and need space ourselves. We'll be bringing strays with us from South America. Okay. You won't have any shortage of animals to rescue. And by that, I don't mean that there are animals everywhere, you know, cats and dogs everywhere that are in really poor health and, you know, on death's door. because Russians are really kind people to their animals, and there are a lot of stray cats and dogs, but they're all in very good health. They're certainly not struggling for food, and if you go down the seafront, for example, down to Anapa, to the top walkway, you'll see quite a few cats along the edge, and there are cat bowls out for them with food and water all the time. So, you know, they're all in good health. They're not struggling. But our little black cat, Rios, he was 2 weeks old when he came to us. Mum had just disappeared. We don't know whether she'd been killed or whatever, but he was 2 weeks old when he came to us. And then Ripple, again, is another rescue cat. So yeah, I totally get the rescue idea. Would it not be better, given the logistics and cost? And I know it's easy to say. Yeah, I probably jumped the gun a bit. If you're rescuing them just as a business, or if you're rescuing them just as good-hearted people and looking to rehome them, then surely it would make more sense to rehome them where you are. But if you're rescuing them in the sense that you're doing what we've done and bringing them into your family, then they become like children, so there isn't an option to leave them behind, so I get that. But if it's one of the first two, then you can certainly do what you're doing here. You know, there's plenty of opportunity. So, are we going to get any more rain? Well, it still looks pretty black over there. I think it's highly likely. But I think I'm going to wind this up, because I've been rabbiting on for nearly 2 hours. God knows why you lot are still here. I know, I'm just sitting in the background, aren't I, really? But hopefully I've answered some questions, and I'm happy to answer more. So if you want to join the Telegram group, there's no reason for it. There's no paid promotions or you know, please donate to my channels or any of that rubbish. It is just a form of communication that's a lot more interactive than a live stream. You know, right now all you can do is type up 1 or 2 sentences, whereas in Telegram you can do as little or as much as you want. It can be the same as you're doing here, 1 or 2 sentences, or it can be right the way up to a video call, whatever you want to do. So a lot more interactive, so please join the Telegram group. And yeah, ask away. Come at me with your questions. If I can answer them, I definitely will. If I can't, I'll hopefully be able to direct you into a direction where somebody can help you. Lovely conversation, Chris. The world needs more down-to-earth people like you. What a lovely thing to say. Thank you, Swanee. That's very nice of you. Thank you. Yeah, as I say, this isn't about revenue. It never has been. It is purely about showing what the media won't show you. And hopefully, you know, if you come on this journey, you see a different side of Russia. You see something that you wouldn't have seen, and hopefully it might open your eyes. Not in a you are naive way, but just in a you've learnt more. Everybody can learn. I learn every day. So thanks for coming. Thanks for joining. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for the chat. Please share any of my videos. Please watch anything. I've got a reasonable catalogue of videos now. So please sort of go back to the beginning. Laugh at the early videos. I'm a pro now. Been doing this 4 months. But yeah, please go back to the earlier videos. Have a little laugh. And yeah, some of the earlier videos I might well remake and, you know, hopefully do a better job second time round. But some of the stuff might give you some answers to things. I definitely do want to be getting out a bit more and doing some more out videos. Supposed to have been in Nova Assist today, but that just didn't happen. So it's probably going to be Monday now, if I can get the appointment. And if I can and I'm there long enough, then I should do a bit of filming from there. Because the port of Nova Assist is stunning. It's a lovely walk around the harbour there, and there's a lovely floating museum which I have shown before, but only externally. So if I can get onto that and film on it, I don't know if I can or not. I haven't asked the question yet, but if I can, I will. It's a 200-metre long battleship, and it's an awesome thing. So anyhow, I'm waffling again. Thanks for coming. Please like, share and subscribe. Most important to share. And a couple of live streams coming up, and hopefully a couple of videos over the next week or so. So, wish me luck with my roof, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, sorry, I just catch that. It's heartbreaking here in Peru with what happens to strays. There is no money here to save animals from the government. Ouch. Yeah, I don't want that thought in my head, Linda, so yeah, I totally get that. The more a country thrives, the better they tend... Yeah. True story. True story. Cheers, guys. See you in the next one.